Hey guys, I thought I'd do a real quick video just looking at a couple of things that have just come in over the last couple of days. Before I get into it though, just a couple of quick updates. The monthly culture shipment is due tomorrow, so that will include Widow, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, I believe, and a few others. Nothing substantial. I know that the bulk of the shipment, such as the two Sith Troopers, Mando, Alita, all of them have been pushed back to November at the earliest. Hopefully, not too much longer after that. But I'll let you know when I know the date or when the dates roll over. So I've already paid off my Black Widow. I went with Eden Hunter for that one. But hopefully invoices and whatnot go out over the next couple of days and we don't have that real week-long delay like they had last time with the new website and whatnot. Alright, so Asmus have started shipping out their Faramir figure. Now this is actually from the Asmus store, so they're starting to do these really cool stickers with it, just as an authenticity thing, I guess. And you can see that they've got that Lord of the Rings engraving around their sticker. It says Lord of the Rings. I was actually really lucky and got number 2 out of 1,500. So I don't know whether or not people just didn't order Faramir as he is a side character or not. But I jumped at the chance to get him as he was the real only one from the old sideshow set that Asmus hadn't tackled yet. So going over him very quickly, the sculpt is actually pretty good. We do actually have to remember that Lord of the Rings or Fellowship of the Ring is 18 years old now. So of course a lot of the actors have obviously aged a fair bit since the film. But I reckon, if I get to focus, I reckon sculpt-wise, this is pretty good. It's a lot better than the Théoden they did. And it's probably on par with the Arwen as one of the better sculpts that they've done. There hasn't been too much news on the crown Gandalf that they were doing, but that again is supposed to have a really superb sculpt. So he does come with some arrows. The arrowheads aren't die-cast, but they look the part, and they're just your standard arrow. They've got they look like a wooden finish, as opposed to like the metal finish that Hot Toys did with Hawkeye. He has a hand for holding the sword. This kind of fisted hand. Another fisted hand, and then he should have. This one here is probably a sword hand as well, but I think going down this side, it's actually tighter that way. So you could probably use it as an arrow holding hand as well. Now the sword is die-cast, which is something that Asmus does for the strong majority of their weapons. So you can see the light coming off that already. So just a standard finish on the sword. I can't remember if Faramir had a named weapon or whether he just had a standard sword. But the whole blade is die-cast, as is the actual handle. So the whole sword is die-cast, which is very cool. It does have a sort of plastic coating here, though, just to give it that grip texture for the sword. But other than that, the entire blade is die-cast. And then we have a plastic sheath with a leather feeling belt. You do actually have to tie it up and everything around him, which can get a little bit annoying with the Lord of the Rings figures, but it is what it is. and then he has a plastic and felt quiver. Again, you actually have to do up the leather straps, put it on. There are instructions that explain all that. Now, he also, this is actually stored underneath the figure for whatever reason. He does come with an overcoat, so you can see that I haven't removed it, which is to complete that look there. So at the moment, you can see that he does just have his padded armor there with the Tree of Gondor. This is just the coat bit that comes over it, so it's sort of what we see on the box art there. Yeah, for whatever reason they just chose to store him underneath the figure with the stand, which just says The Lord of the Rings. So rather than brand them from each film, Two Towers, Return of the King, etc., they've just said The Lord of the Rings, which I can get why that would annoy some people, but I don't really mind. Now, this is the odd choice, because regardless of where you order it from, you get the arrows and the quiver, but the web store exclusive was actually the longbow. You can see that it is actually an extremely big piece. It actually goes from the top of the box there to about here, so it takes up a fair chunk of the box. And you can just see how long that string is. I haven't opened it yet. You can see, but it is just supposed to look like a very dark oak, I think. So they actually made this the web store exclusive. So for certain items, so the Rohirrim flag that came with Aramir, I can't remember the item that came with Erwin. But yeah, most figures do have an item that is exclusive to the web store. For whatever reason, they give you the arrows in the standard version, but they do not give you the bow. Why they made the bow itself the web exclusive, I have no idea. Maybe it was just a COVID ploy to try and get more people to stick with the actual web store during COVID. I don't know, but I found it a really odd choice, considering since most of the time Faramir is actually considered an archer, not a swordsman. So why they would make, I reckon that would have probably upset a lot of people, especially if you didn't really have access to order from the Asmus website. I did have to pay, normally if shipping is free, I did have to pay an extra $30, I think it was, to get him EMS'd. Otherwise, he'd still be shipping there until the restrictions lifted. The final item you do get is his Gondorian Ranger's hood. I would have been happy if this was the web exclusive, because at least it is only from that real brief scene in Two Towers. But either way, it's a nice accessory to have. But yeah, if you ordered a standard version from any store, you do not get that bow. Very bizarre move. Don't know why. And as said, there is his instructions that explains how to attach the various belts and everything to him. So that is all that. So quite light on for accessories, but then again, he didn't really have too much to do during the films. So I think what we got is fine. Just a questionable decision on making that bow the web store exclusive. So just as a comparison, Galadriel, she's not released yet. I'm hoping she's released real soon. Her web store exclusive is actually an upgrade to come with her whole, I think she comes with the mirror that she gets Frodo to look into. So overall, quite a nice figure. I don't see the outfit hindering any articulation, and everything seems well done and well tailored. Asmus are very good at their tailoring. If I get a chance, I will probably try and pick up the Dante, just because I do really want a Dante, and I missed out on the Devil May Cry 4 version, so I will probably try and get a Devil May Cry 5 version, just because I really like Dante as a character. So yeah, this has been a quick look at Faramir. Now, another thing that happened over the weekend was those crazy random discounts that Zing do. So a bit of a bizarre figure and an odd, many would consider an odd choice, but I did pick up the Star Ace Bellatrix Lestrange. Now you can tell that it is quite an older figure. The box did have a little tear in here. Now this was, originally it started at $370, and it went down to $299, and over the weekend it actually dropped to $199. So I figured Star Ace are a bit hit and miss, but I figured for $199 was probably all right, as this is one of their, it's not one of their best releases, but it's by far not one of their worst. If you've seen the Ron, you can't even recognize it as Ron. The Voldemort is really good. The Dumbledore is really good. Snape, the first release was pretty good in my opinion. Newt Scamander was pretty good. Most of them aren't actually too bad. Like Mad Eye Moody was excellent. And then for whatever reason, I think they may have changed sculptors or something. So I'll start off with the accessories first. So I think this is I could be wrong. It doesn't actually list the accessories, I don't think. No, it doesn't. I want to guess that this is maybe a wand that she used after she had lost her wand. If you've seen Deathly Hallows, I feel like this is probably a backup wand, perhaps. It doesn't actually list what this is, and I can see that it does have a kind of a wooden type of finish on the end here. So it could just be a really long wand. This is her standard wand, so you can see that it does. It is designed to look wooden, and it does have that curve in it that her wand had in the film. But again, it does make sense that she comes with two, because Hermione does take this I think it's quite early on in the film. She has the dagger that she throws at Dobby, and I believe that's probably a hand for making the throwing motion. This would be the wand holding hand, so you can see that it is Asmus. Star Ace aren't that great at skin texture, and you'll see that soon. So it does look really pale. I mean, Helena Bonham Carter there is quite pale, but standard Star Ace figures do just have this very standard skin tone. You can see that there is a ring there, and the nails are done quite nicely. Nowhere near to what people would expect from Hot Toys, or even what we get from Sideshow. Honestly, I don't know why the Star Ace figures are so expensive, but they are, which is why I generally wait until they're on clearance like this. The Hermione was actually quite terrible as well. I do not own the Hermione. So we have a Death Eater mask. Now this here does have two straps in there. I'm not too sure what they connect to, but you can actually just place it over the face and it works. Similar to what we got with their Lucius Malfoy figure. And we have the stand. Now, I'll just lift her up for a second. I have to... she is rooted hair, so I'll show that in a moment too. And then we do get a stand, quite a nice stand, and it says Death Eater, and it has a picture of what a Death Eater would look like with the mask and the hood. I don't actually know if it says Bellatrix. No, it does not. So it just says Death Eater. It doesn't actually say Bellatrix Lestrange on it, which is a bit of a shame. And there's the instructions that are glued to the back of the tray. Right, so I've actually already, I took a look at it earlier and then I put it back on. Basically, it's not actually too bad. So the hair Again, it's what we're going to get with rooted hair. It does go all over the place. And you can see that they've put the plastic on the bodice part to kind of protect the pattern, I think. The dress does have a very nice pattern on it, and that continues all the way around. You can see that her hair is quite long, and looking at the sculpt-wise, obviously it's not perfect, but you can tell who it's supposed to be, and even the extremely messy hair is a giveaway, and you can kind of move it around or even have it cover that part of her face, like there. I feel the likeness is pretty good. Again, the sculpt isn't up to what we are used to with 6-scale companies, but it's much better than I thought it was, than what I'd been led to believe that it was like. So $1.99 for this, I am quite happy with it. Now, she does have, I hope this comes across, she does have the white in her hair. There is a white strip going down, and it is kind of, I suppose, dyed into this side of hair, so it's not as white as what it would have appeared in the film, but you can see that it is there, and again, you can move it around to make it stand out more. Now, the only thing I don't like, to make the part in her hair, they've actually done something really strange here. They've got this white thread going through the hair, and it's probably not going to focus because there is so much going on. But they have this white thread going through the hair, which is fine, because again, that you can see that that thread continues down, and it separates into where her hair goes white. But for whatever reason, they've got a black, I don't know, maybe it's not, it's sort of the size of a wrist peg, I guess. They got a black plastic wrist peg type of thing in here, which creates the part in her hair. But you can see the black, and it stands out quite horribly at the back there. It's the only thing about this figure that I don't particularly like. You can probably style the hair around it to cover it up, but I just reckon that it's just a really odd move. And again, Star Race are known for doing quite odd things with their figures. So there's a closer look at it. You can see, like in talking about that black section, is extremely noticeable. But again, the sculpt is pretty good. You can tell who it's supposed to be, and she does have like quite a surprised look on her face. And of course, we know that Helen Bonham Carter is quite an eccentric actress, so having wide eyes and a really that kind of look on her face is nothing unusual. But again, rooted hair, it does what it needs to do. If you played around with it, it'd look a bit better. And again, maybe just trying to brush, or even if I put a little bit of water down on it to try and get that hair, to sit down. But yeah, other than that, I reckon it's a pretty good figure for $1.99 at least. No way would I have paid almost $400 for it, simply just for the fact that there is just a real eyesore of that there is a real eyesore of a headpiece. Yeah. I did also order the Luna Lovegood. Unfortunately, that one has to be picked up in person, as there was only one store in Queensland that had it. So that's my parents are going to pick that one up. But basically, Luna Lovegood was discounted from $300 down to $99. So I definitely jumped at that one, as again, that is one of their better figures, and similar to Bellatrix. And I'll show that off once I hopefully get her, hopefully next week. So there's that there. I did want the Jenny Weasley, but again, it's one of their, it's not terrible, but again, it's not fantastic. That one is currently $1.99, same as Bellatrix, but again, I can't get it delivered, and the only store that I can click and collect it from is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So if it's there next time I head through Brisbane, I'll grab it. If not, it's no real big loss. Alright guys, so this has been a quick look at the Asmus Faramir and the Star Ace Bellatrix.